Hi everybody, how you doing? Good Wednesday night to everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. That's the radar and it's active. There's actually still some rain falling across the area. We're not done yet. I figured most of the rain would come to an end around 8 or 9 o'clock, but let's push that back to about midnight because it's still raining pretty heavy at times in Coleman County and Franklin County. And nothing severe. It's just a lot of rain. And I know some of you are at home going, dude, I didn't have one raindrop at my house today. No, you didn't, because it's very isolated, local, heavy amounts. We still have a few showers and storms. If you look closely, let me pop this up for a minute. We actually have a few showers popping in around Huntsville, where there was actually some heavy rain in South Huntsville, west of the Parkway earlier. We had some heavy rain in Tanner earlier. No rain near Decatur right now, but a few little pockets of showers and storms popping in DeKalb County. And it's been pouring east of Chattanooga like all night long. And some heavy rain in Coleman County, especially southwest Coleman County, even towards Phil Campbell, some heavy rain breaking out towards Vina Hodges area. We'll track a few showers and storms for a couple more hours. They should start to peter out here soon, rain themselves out. But there'll be some areas that pick up another 2 to 3 inches of rain while other areas don't have 2 or 3 drops. But the biggest headline today was the temperatures again. That's why we had a 48 first alert weather day, which we have put to an end now, because we had temperatures in the mid-upper 90s before we had any rain pop. And there were a few areas that actually cooled off with some thunderstorms. But the feel-like temperatures, if you were out and about today, it was hot, it was humid, don't get me wrong, but it was not nearly as bad as it was Monday and Tuesday. You could tell the difference. So, I mean, feel-like temperatures 114, 115 yesterday, 105, 106, 107 today. It's an 8-degree, almost a 10-degree difference for some areas. So Coleman's sitting at 75 right now, and that's because of the thunderstorms and the rain happening there. And that's what thunderstorms will do. They'll cool the temperatures off. Notice how Fort Payne is at 77. That was because there was some thunderstorms earlier in Fort Payne where they picked up about 1 to 2 inches of rain, and it cooled the air and the temperature never rebounded. So it's been just sitting in the upper 70s since about 6 o'clock. Still 84 in the Shoals and 84 in Huntsville. Not much rain in those locations. That 85 in Russellville is probably not going to be 85 in the next update, because there's a storm just south of Russellville now. Maybe it might hold its own. Maybe Phil Campbell's a little cooler, but yeah. Some areas getting rain, other areas haven't. If you feel like you've been left out on the rainfall, you have a higher chance, a much better chance of rain as we go into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's all part of a frontal boundary that will sag south, and eventually it's going to drop our temperature. It's going to bring a chance of rain in here. Timing it all out, Thursday and Friday look pretty wet, and then Saturday, there's scattered showers and storms, but I think the higher chance of rain will actually become a problem or a more nuisance for your outdoor plans on Sunday than Saturday, but both days have some rain in the forecast. And some of you want the rain, so that's not a nuisance at all. Adam, Fort Payne, checking in. We had some good heavy rain earlier this evening. You sure did. I was tracking it with you, 5 and 6. It's so hard to explain to people, like, the other night we had heavy rain in northwest Alabama. Nobody else had anything. I'm like on here talking about it. Everyone's like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. There's no rain. I'm like, well, it can rain in some places. In other areas, it doesn't rain. So it feels like temperature, even at this hour, not nearly as hot as it was last night at this time. But it still feels like 89 in Huntsville and 91 in the Shoals and 90 in Meridianville. Heat advisory has been extended through Thursday. Not extreme heat or danger heat or anything like that, but the heat advisory. And tomorrow, if the storms fire up around noon, you're not going to be in hitting any kind of close heat advisory criteria. But if the storms hold off until the afternoon, and that's pretty much why the advisory was issued, is that the thinking is that the storms will be like after 3 p.m. You'll have time to heat up. You'll probably hit the criteria of about 105 for heat advisory. But there'll be some areas, I think, that pop some storms around 1 or 2, and then that would cool you off a bit. But still humid, still hot, but a better or higher chance of rain for tomorrow. Anytime you get some rainfall with this setup, much like it's happening right this moment, rain will be heavy at times. And there could be even a few gusty winds too. I still think that little cell that was near Tanner earlier today around like 3 o'clock, there was some wind with it, because I was looking at the Decatur camera we have. I had it tilted north and I could see the rain shaft in the distance. And I could see little white caps on the water. There was probably some 30, 40 mile an hour winds with that. So you pop your 10-day up so you can see it better. And yeah, the chance of rain will continue. Probably could go 50% on Sunday, but I will let everybody else deal with that because I'm off Thursday and Friday. I don't want to make any changes this far out. So Thursday, Friday, scattered storms, some of that rainfall heavy at times. Everybody has a higher chance of rain all around. The coverage should be more. Same for Sunday too. And then even into next week, some scattered showers and storms for Monday and Tuesday. But the temperatures is what is catching everyone's eyes, is that we drop back into the 80s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And even probably next Tuesday too, before the heat comes back a bit for midweek. But be a nice subtle change for everybody. I'll leave the 10-day up for just a moment. So, Amber, we ain't had none in Higdon. Area lightning a little. Yep. Some areas get it. Some areas don't. Some areas there's the haves and have-nots. You're a have-not if you don't have any rain today. If you had rain, you're a have for sure. Adam says August will probably be a scorcher, I would imagine. Well, that's a pretty good gamble right there. If you're going to place your bets on a hot August, that would probably be a good idea in Tennessee Valley, because it usually is pretty warm, a little toasty for sure. It's a good bet. Sandy says it's storming in Powell in DeKalb County right now. There is. Let's go back to the radar. We can actually see that on the radar. I just showed you. There is some showers and storms in DeKalb County. There was some showers and storms earlier too. See that one little cell right there? I'll pull it up right by the F in Fort Payne. There you go. There's your Powell storm. See how it's not moving though? This is like a big part of the forecast with these storms, is they pulse up and then they just get stuck and they don't really move. So like that rainfall in Coleman County has been doing that for like the last 2 hours. I'm really surprised there's been no flooding reports or any kind of excess water issues, because I'm sure it's getting close to 2 to 3 inches in Coleman County now, at least southwest Coleman. Even though, look at the storms in Franklin. They just keep sitting in the same spot. And this is the concern, is when you have rainfall like this, again, some areas not getting anything, but areas that do have rain, it really comes down and it pours. I had somebody write on my page, it really poured in Tanner. I'm like, yeah, I know. It can get to the point where you live in your own world when you're in one of these little downpours. And that tiny little red blob by Fort Payne in the Powell area is producing some heavy rain. Even some rain. Somebody said Higdon may have some lightning. You see lightning. So like if you live in Bryant, or if you live in like northeast Jackson County, you've probably been watching the lightning with that storm over in Chattanooga for like the last 2 hours. You can see it from your house, but the storm's not really near you. But there are a few cells popping in Jackson County now too. Has nothing to do with that Chattanooga rainfall, but that's the lightning that a lot of you have seen throughout the evening. Remember, at night when it's dark, you can see lightning for miles. There's no such thing as heat lightning. The lightning you see is actually from another storm. So I'll leave the radar up so you can see it more. But Stacy says, I hope we get a flood. Okay. Stacy wants a flood. That's always safe. Tyler Brown, 4 days of 80s, then back to the 90s. This ain't fair. Yeah, it's a tough one. Summertime in the Tennessee Valley, you hit a lot of 90s, and I would look at it like take advantage of the 80s for 4 days. It's a great decade. And then when the 90s come back like they're supposed to, you just have to just grin and bear it for a couple more weeks. We're almost towards fall. Fall will arrive soon. Stacy also says, I hope it snows tomorrow. Well, that's not going to happen. That is the one thing I can guarantee, that it's not going to snow tomorrow. I don't guarantee much in weather, but that's one thing I can guarantee. Chris Strickland, so how will the humidity be over this stretch? Will it be actually standable? No, the humidity is not going anywhere. I'll put myself back up so I can use my hands. So this front coming down tomorrow and Friday, right? I don't use the term cold front. I know a lot of people do, but it's not bringing cold air. So it's a cold front by definition, but I can't. I'm just going to call it a boundary or a front, because when you say cold front, people are like, oh, it's going to get cold. Not really. So it takes the temperatures down into the 80s, but the humidity does not really change all that much. Maybe a little dip in the humidity on Saturday, where it actually may dip back into the 60s, the dew point temperature. But, I mean, it's not going away completely. There'll still be some kind of humidity. Even when the temperatures drop into the 80s, there'll still be some kind of humidity out there. Maybe not quite as oppressive as it was this week, but certainly still part of the forecast. Adam says, it don't take much to flood the streets in Fort Payne. Yeah, I always find that Florence is like that too. If it was like a couple heavy downpours, well, we'll do the trick. So it can be like that. Stacy says, you never know in Alabama what's going to happen. No, I have a really good idea, actually. It's my job. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be getting paid. I wouldn't work here, right? So yeah, I got a pretty good idea. Sometimes some weird things happen, but that happens in all states. It doesn't just happen in Alabama. Every little state that I've worked in, and most stations, and every little part of the United States has its own little tiny weirdness things with weather. But most of the time, we got a pretty good vibe on it. And also, weird things happen everywhere sometimes. But if you live in Alabama, it only happens in Alabama because that's all you know. So there's the rainfall. It's just so messy. It's like a bad painting. A little red here, a little yellow here, a little green here. And if you don't have anything on you and you want rain, you're kind of bummed out right now. But that area in Franklin County just continues to grow. Like those storms, like we call it, like it's kind of like, it's like training. So like training, not like a choo-choo train, but when like one cell just keeps building back off the same one, this same area, it just keeps training, like the rainfall just keeps training over one area. That's what we mean by that. And that's what that is doing in Franklin County. Like that whole area is just expanding. Like it just continues to pour. It's like cats and dogs, meow, meow, woof, woof. But in southwest Coleman County just continues to get throttled with heavy rain. That's where most of the lightning is right now too. The two cells that have the most lightning is the Coleman one that I'm pointing to because I see it here. I'm looking at my own screen. And then the Chattanooga mess east of Chattanooga. That's actually now starting to drift back into Georgia. These things are like, these has all these like these storms, like when they develop, they have these outflow boundaries, right? We've talked about this many times. And they kind of feed off of them. So sometimes they'll drift in weird directions too. So we had that Tanner downpour that developed around 3 o'clock that actually drifted west into Rogersville. And I know it rained there because my good friend Norma Brown let me know. And she says, Jeff, we got rain finally. I'm like, I know, I steered it right to your house. And what happens is as they build off of each other, they can start moving in like weird directions. It's like a lava lamp, you know, it kind of oozes each direction. And that's what that Chattanooga thunderstorm cluster was kind of drifting west, and now it's working back to the east. But a few of the little isolated showers and storms have crossed over the state line there. That's why Powell has that downpour. That downpour in Powell is going to rain itself out here in a second. It won't last much longer. There's a few showers near Madison, too. I can see them behind the H in Huntsville. And, yeah, I think Franklin County in Alabama is probably getting the brunt of it with the rainfall right now, though. Even that pocket of heavy rain in Coleman is starting to back off a little bit. So, Brian says, could you imagine shoveling snow in this heat? No, I can't imagine doing much in this heat, so... If you're shoveling snow in this heat, that would be one of those really weird things that happen in Alabama if it snows when it's 90 degrees. So yeah, that would be crazy. Tyler says, I feel that cold front going to bring some nasty storms. Probably not, but I see your rationale behind it. Everyone thinks just because if you have heat, you got a cold front and it's going to be like big storms, but that's probably not how this plays out. Probably some heavy rain, definitely. Because you have a wind gust of 30, 40 miles an hour Thursday, Friday, yeah. But nothing like widespread severe weather expected at all. It's not that kind of setup at all. But I see the rationale behind it, though, and I get it. I understand what you're saying, Tyler. Kirsten, good evening. Good to see you on. And Tegan, good afternoon. Oh, we're way past afternoon, Tegan. We have graduated to the evening hours because this is my Friday, and I have about an hour left, and I'm very excited about that. Kirsten says, I need some rain here. Rah! I know. I talked to some people and they're so ticked off they've had no rainfall. And then you have other areas, and the month of July has been the haves and have-nots because there are some areas that have had almost 10 inches of rainfall. I'm not kidding you. 10 inches of rain. Locations have 10 inches of rain. And then there's some areas that haven't even had a half an inch of rain. And obviously those areas are very mad they haven't had rain. And the people who have had 10 inches of rain are very upset that they keep getting rainfall. And it seems like the same areas continue to get hit. So, but Northwest Alabama Regional Airport, the Shoals has had over 9 inches of rain in July. Some areas soaked, some areas nothing. Tyler says, I'm seeing lightning all the way up here in Vallehermoso Springs. Yeah, that lightning you see is probably from the Coleman storm. I don't know. I live in Northwest Huntsville, and I actually could see the lightning from the Florence storm a couple nights ago on Monday. So, could be the storm. You could be seeing the lightning over there by Russellville too. But I don't think you're seeing the Chattanooga lightning though. That's too far away. I think. But yeah, Vallehermoso Springs, Lacey Spring, you go outside, look right now. If you're on 36, if you live off Somerville, Eva, look south, yeah, you'll see the lightning. A lot of lightning with that storm in Coleman. Not as much lightning with the storms in Russellville, just a little bit. So anytime you have any lightning, though, it can be dangerous, right? Cloud to ground lightning especially. Keegan says, I've been thinking about that 112 record temp. I wonder what the heat index was on that day. I don't know. It was so long ago, Tegan, I don't even think they kept track of it, to be honest with you. There's no way to find out. She asked me last night, Tegan asked me what the hottest temperature in Alabama was, and it's like in Bibb County, 112 is the record high. And the record lowest temperatures in New Market back in 66, I think it's 27 below, just for Alabama climatological statistics for you. So, Ashley, what about the lightning in Athens? What about the lightning in Athens, Ashley? What do you want to know? Let me know. It's not actually in Athens. It's actually in Coleman is the lightning that you see. It's that far away from you. You might see a little lightning in Madison, actually. There's a little lightning there in Madison starting to pop. Let me pull this up because I can't really see it that well. But there might be a couple lightning strikes in Madison that you see, but most of the lightning that you probably have been watching is down in Coleman. I don't think there's any lightning in Huntsville. It might be, but no, I doubt it. So you probably see the lightning in the distance is what I'm assuming. Oh. I don't even know what that means, Stacy. They blocked it out because you put a bad word, but I don't even know what that means. Tyler, kind of crazy how far, if you can see, if you think we will get some more rain in Vallehermoso Springs area tonight, or is it done? I think eventually, Tyler's asking if there's going to be any more rain in his area, Vallehermoso Springs area. These all should start to rain themselves out. And what I mean by that is they'll just slowly start to just essentially dry up. They just get tired of raining and they just say, I've had enough. But I think we're pretty much done after these downpours start to back off a bit. There is a few showers near Madison right now, but they're drifting west, so I don't think they're going to head south of you. That stuff out in Jackson County is never going to make it to you. So I don't think you'll get much more rain tonight, if any. So. Ashley's like, okay, that makes sense. Good stuff, Ashley. It's the thing about like nighttime storms too is like you could literally be in Huntsville and be completely clear and you have lightning off in the distance and you're like, wow, that storm must be so close. And it's like at the Georgia state line or something like that. And you're like, wow, it's so close yet so far. But lightning in the distance, not heat lightning, it's storms. Tyler says, do you think we'll see some more rain in Vallehermoso Springs? Yeah, I just answered that, Tyler. I don't think you will. I think most of this rain will start to rain itself out. That heavy rain in Coleman, since we started the weather extra at 9:30, has actually started to dissipate a bit. You can see it's starting to kind of, it's like you're shrinking it. Franklin County is still going strong. A little rainmaker in Powell fighting the good fight, but should back off soon. Now you got a little downpour in Madison too, right by Toyota Field. Pandas were playing. They got their game in, I think. But boy, that looks like a pretty decent little downpour under the H in Huntsville right now. And that's right by Toyota Field on our H. There's a few little showers up towards Lincoln County too when you cross the state line near Hazel Green. Vacation Valerie's not on tonight, but she's a weather watcher. She could have let me know. But yeah. Some areas get some solid rain out of this. I got you, Stacey. I know. I thought it was funny too, Stacey. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Okay. So Facebook. So what happens is it gets grayed out. I don't know. It gets grayed out because you explain the buttocks region with an A word. So it blocks it out. But yeah, I think it's great. You could take a big fan and move it on out. They sell those, you know. There's a company that sells them. Exactly what you wrote. Big blank fans. You can buy them for your homes, and they're really awesome. So maybe we could do something like that with the weather. I think it is funny. I don't know why Facebook blocks that stuff for like weird things. I can't unblock it either. That's the craziest thing. But I liked it though. I put LOL on that. Watch this. I'll even put a smiley face on there. Do I have one? Yeah. Boom. There you go. Tyler Brown. I was kind of wishing it would be good sleeping weather. Yeah, falling asleep to rain is great. Falling asleep to loud thunderstorms is not so great. But yeah, a little rain goes a long way. Kind of soothing. I mean, don't they make those like you can play those on your Amazon or whatever? And soothing rainfall. Now they charge money for it. It's crazy. But it's all good. All right. Thank you all for coming in tonight. Good eyeball count. So 9:51 is the time. Margot, myself, Carl, we're all in the house tonight. We're going to be taking care of your 10 o'clock newscast here shortly, and I got to go get the 10 o'clock prompted, and so we can be on air for that. I'll be tracking these last little bursts of rain across the Tennessee Valley that should start to fizzle out here soon. I'm sure they'll be fizzled out by the time Eric Burke gets here tomorrow morning. He'll be here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 4:30. He is working straight through the noon show and will be here all morning into the early afternoon. And then Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis will be back tomorrow, and he will be in covering the night shift Thursday night and Friday night. And we'll got you covered. He'll probably update some of the rainfall opportunities for Friday and the weekend. Eric will certainly keep an eye on the rainfall potential for tomorrow when he's in tomorrow morning. We got you back and covered. Always a friendly reminder to download the WAFF 48 weather app. It has an awesome radar on it. If you have any trouble programming it or getting set, just send me a message and I'll try to help you. I was somebody that was having trouble with it last week. I tried to walk her through and I could not get her to get it to work. So I told her I would meet her in person sometime and I will set it for her if I have to. Because it's a really great radar, but it defaults to future. So you have to like set it to current. Other than that, it's really great. So. Okay. Go eat a biscuit. Definitely. All about food. Everybody have a fantastic night. Newscast starts at 10. We'll see you then. Have a good night, everyone.